Hey y'all, and welcome to the Southland Piper. I'm your host Tim. Hope you're doing well today. Well, I have this MGM Rock pipe that's in pretty good shape, except it's going to need some work on the stem. So let's turn around to the workbench and get started. All right, here's the pipe. Like I said, it's a MGM. There we go. MGM Rock. A couple of different numbers. We've got a 1912 and we've got a 27 on there. Kind of looks like a tree to me. It's dirty, the stummel is. Inside the bowl doesn't look terrible. Looks like they've reamed it regularly. Not much carbon on the top. Push mount on the stem. And speaking of the stem, that's where we got our trouble with this pipe. Now, this isn't a hole or anything. It's just this stem gets pretty thin. So that's pushed down a little bit, but it's kind of got the line of the airway. So going to have to be real careful there. Now on the bottom side, we've actually got a hole. So that's going to have to be repaired. And I'm going to try out a new product on this pipe. I've been using CA glue, super glue, for quite a while and getting some pretty good results. But I'm going to switch over to a two-part epoxy called G-Flex and use a little pigment, black pigment with it, and see if we get some good results with that. All right, let's get started. All right, let's start cleaning on this pipe. Like I said, the bowl looks like it's in really good shape. The mortise is actually clean. I mean, nice and clean. So we'll just do a little exterior cleaning, and we'll run a pipe cleaner down through there just to make sure, but let's get it clean. Okay, I've got the before and after Briar cleaner. I will probably refresh the stain, the dye on this pipe once it's cleaned up. Carbon's not too bad on top. All right, we'll give that 20 minutes. Now, while we're waiting on the stummel to sit in the cleaning solution, I mentioned I'm moving away from the CA glue, the super glue, and going to G-Flex. And as the name says, it flexes a little bit. And I think that'll do better on the stems than the glue. The super glue tends to be a little on the rigid side. Now, this does not come in black, so I've got to add a pigment to that. This, like I said, this is a two-part epoxy, and this is a pigment made for epoxy. So we'll be trying it out on this stem and see how it goes. Okay, this little dose cup, I've just got some plain water and a soft bristle toothbrush. All right, let's wipe it all down. It's like we're going to have some carbon build up, or maybe even some scorching on the top rim. Might have to treat it a second time, but if we got scorching, we might just have to live with it because I'd have to take off the rustication, or some of it anyway. All right, got the stummel all cleaned up and dry. This is scorching. So the only way I can handle that is to do a little sanding. And that's what I'll do next. Not going to be able to get all of it, but I think I can lighten up the area fairly well. May just have to end up with a little darkening on the rim. We'll see. Sometimes it just can't be avoided. And let me get a paper towel and hit it with a little alcohol. See what this... Yeah, it's just going to be dark. I just don't know that I'm going to go in on these spots or not. That would be not the hardest to replicate, but it would still be pretty difficult. So that just may stay. I could possibly get that out right there. Got most of this on the side. It's a little dark here. But I'm going to fiddle around with it a little bit longer, and then we'll put some stain on it. I'm going to use my manicurist drill in a couple of spots. Don't plan on using it a whole lot. Just trying to lighten some of these areas. Like I said, I didn't want to use it a whole lot. Just want to lighten things a little bit. All right. All right, I'm going to use a light tan. All right, next thing we'll do is buff it. right, let's get the pipe stem ready to accept the epoxy. I've got this thin area on top. It's compressed a little bit, and that shouldn't be too bad. Just a little cleanup, and then we'll apply some of the epoxy. Now on the underside, I actually do have a hole, so that's going to have to take that in consideration. But I don't think it'll be too bad. I'll use the manicurist drill to clean things up a bit and get ready to use the epoxy. So we'll do that first and then mix up the epoxy. Now to keep from blocking the airway up with the epoxy, I've taken a little piece of cardstock and used this ointment that I've got, salve or whatever you want to call it, 1 ounce of beeswax to 6 ounces of olive oil. And so with this little piece of paper, we hopefully should be able to block anything from getting into the airway. All right, let's get this mixed up. According to instructions, I'll use the resin, dispense it first, and then I'll add the black pigment, and don't need a whole lot of this, so it's just a little pea size of the resin. And so let's add the black pigment, and it'll only take a couple of drops. They say this stuff is fairly potent, and so it shouldn't take a whole lot to get the desired color. 1 drop, and the second one's going to fall eventually. There it is. Not quite as big as the first one, so hopefully this color will match up okay. So we'll get all that mixed up, and then after we mix that up, we'll add the hardener in. All right, time to mix in the hardener. Again, I'll just use a little pea size of the hardener. And then I'm going to have to mix this for about 3 minutes. So I don't plan on having y'all watch 3 minutes of me doing this. So as soon as that time's up and I've got it good mixed, I'll be right back. Let me grab this little cocktail toothpick and we'll apply some resin to the stem. We'll start on the underside. Let me zoom in a little bit here. And hopefully this little piece of cardstock that I've got coated in that little balm will do its trick, and I won't get any resin down in the airway. But at least it's materials that I can work with to unblock if something does go wrong. Not a whole lot. Don't need to add a large amount. Now a little bit for the top of the stem. And hopefully this will go okay. I've never used this stuff before. Well, I let the stem go overnight. So let's check see if it's cured. You know, not leaving any real print. Okay. The bottom is where I was afraid we might get blocked. So let's see if that pulls out. That did, nice and clean. So let's start doing a little filing, and then we'll move to sandpaper. All right, we'll start with the sanding. And still may have to do something after I buff it. Buffing really shows all your flaws. All right, let me get all sanded out. Well, I've pretty well finished the sanding, and I know that once I put it on the buffer, it will show me, areas that I need to attend to. So I'm not expecting to get it right the first time. And here's the finished pipe. You can still see a little bit of darkening on the rim, but it's not bad. Not terribly bad anyway. The stem, I'm happy with. The back where we had the hole. But all in all, I think it turned out pretty well. Buffed up nicely. Let's see, the MGM. Yeah, there you go. Made in Italy. Well, thank you for sharing your time with me today, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye.